think we got everyone.
You are live.
Surprise, it's me. So, we're starting today right off the bat with a demo. It's probably even hard to hear me because I'm having to yell over the noise of this air purifier here. This is our old air purifier, which we used in the corner of our room, and I don't know, it's about 3 feet tall, super loud.
Super expensive too.
I'm embarrassed to tell you how much we spent on it, but this is when Violet and Camellia were very ill, and we were trying to do whatever we could to clean the air. So I'm going to turn this off because I don't know about you, but I'm getting annoyed.
Well, wait, because they're not. Everyone's still just getting on, so you're just going to have to suffer through.
She wants me to keep talking with it.
I know.
Can they hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we're talking about clean air today, guys. We are talking about WellisAir. We had to take a little break from talking about it because
running out.
It was so well received. There's a new shipment on the water that's going to be here shortly. So
and
now we can talk about it.
We actually just got a small supply so that we can start really sort of re-educating everyone on what WellisAir does again.
Right. So that's why we're talking about things that help you to breathe more easily today.
Yes. I gotta tell you, this is not helping me breathe. In fact, my eyes are getting a little itchy and watery, and I can feel it in the back of my throat. Can I turn it off?
Well,
turn it back on.
Here's what we want to say. This product here, this is HEPA filtration, right?
This is HEPA.
Which has always been the best up until now.
It was the gold standard for decades. But now there's something new with WellisAir, and I want to get to the WellisAir.
Okay, you can turn it off.
I'll put it back up, so we'll do the demo.
Okay.
I'm gonna unplug it. And
wait. Shh.
Silence.
Oh, wait, but the WellisAir is still on.
Yes, it is. It is.
I can't hear it.
It's got just a little bit of a And here's what you don't have to do with a WellisAir. All right.
I mean, if you have a filtration type of air purifier, make sure you are changing these filters. It's messy and it's nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people to do this outside. I'm just going to open it and close it.
Really?
No.
Do you have a mask?
I don't. Well, actually, there is a mask.
Yeah, we got to put masks on if you're going to do
this.
If you're changing those filters.
It's in the closet part. Or is it one there? Okay. If you can, do it outside. But we will vacuum and we will wipe down the counters. Okay, here we go. There's Carolina.
It's nasty.
Look at that nastiness.
Oh, God. Okay, so if you're not changing the filters, what is happening?
All of these contaminants are all right there. So everything that you're trying to get out of your air is resting on here. It's not dead, it's just captured. And now all of these particulates, we've reintroduced them to the air. So I'm going to take this away now.
Please, God, take that away. Clean it up. Put it in the trash. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm going to cover for Bruce.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, guys. That was in your house. Yes, Thea, that is the air purifier that we've had for like 12 years or 10 years. 10 years. I mean, I think we spent $1,500 on it because when we had mold remediation done in our home, they told us that was the best air purifier that we could get. And our kids were like really sick at the time with mold toxicity. So for this many years to go by and for Bruce to be introduced to WellisAir and have the opportunity to bring it to you guys, you can see this is a fraction of the size. It is not only as effective, it's more effective, and it is virtually silent. So we just had the masks on to change the filter in that other product because the toxicity that you get from changing the filters is extreme. So if you have a HEPA filtration product, please change the filter frequently, wear a mask, wear gloves when you do it. But better yet, we have something that's a lot easier and a better technology. So Bruce is going to talk to you about it.
So I think a lot of people have heard about it now that we've been showing these on various shows. You might want to tilt down that camera when you get a chance. Okay. But it's based on hydromolecules that are generated inside and mimic nature. Now, I wasn't a chemist when I went to school. I took one chemistry class, and I'll be honest with you, I did not do well in it. So we've now started a bi-monthly science call with the inventor of the patented it's called a hydroxyl generator inside, and we have that call twice a month, and we're tackling different topics. But basically, what I just learned, because what hydroxyls do are mimic nature. OH, which is oxygen and hydrogen, are abundant in in nature, and it's basically like taking a walk through a forest or along the water or something like that, away from city. And there's more that OH is naturally occurring in nature, and more OH happens on a cloudy day than a sunny day. On a sunny day, it's something like 7 trillion parts per million. And on a cloudy day, it's up around 28 million. This is about 14 million or 14 trillion. We're right in the center. Caroline wants me to wrap it up because I'm getting too into the details.
You're in the weeds, yeah.
But the point is that this is an average day somewhere between sunny and cloudy that happens every day. And what it does is it goes out and it's nature's immune system. It finds other molecules and it steals the hydrogen from those molecules and becomes, instead of OH, H2O, which everyone knows is water. And when you take the hydrogen from, say, a virus, it makes that virus dead instantly. It's dead. It's another molecule now, and it's not harmful to humans. So bacterias, viruses, mold, VOCs. We've talked a lot about VOCs on past shows, and it's hard to get your head around it if you're not familiar with it, but VOCs are off-gassing. So you know when you go into a new home and you have that new paint smell? That's off-gassing. That's different kinds of, I'm not really sure, like benzene and possibly formaldehyde in the paint, or it could be coming from the carpet. There's a lot of formaldehyde in hardwood floors, in the glue used in hardwood floors, or in particle board, which is used in the backing of a lot of cabinets and things like that. And you think like, no big deal, but we are under a bombardment of toxins in nature, and we're looking for any way just to bring down the toxic load. So why not, instead of just filtering the air with a HEPA filter and capturing all those things, why not kill everything in the air that's harmful to you, all those toxins, so that you never have to deal with it? There's no filter to change in here. There's nothing that accumulates that requires that you have to put a mask on and gloves on to go clean it. Instead, every 3 months, there is, I'm gonna show you the back. There is this little door here, and it's telling me that the cartridge is out. Let's see, I'm gonna put it this way. See that cartridge? I'm showing first Facebook and then Instagram. There's a little liquid in there. That liquid, we have two different kinds. We have D-limonene, which is a citrus oil, and it has to cycle through again. when you put the cartridge in. The citrus oil has just a faint hint of citrus smell. If you put your nose right to this, you can smell it. But I'll be honest with you, it's one of those smells that I'm not really aware of in the room. We also have a completely odorless one that has a proprietary dilution of hydrogen peroxide. They both work equally well. We have all the tests, and in fact, the patent that accesses those covers both the citrus oil and the hydrogen peroxide. So some people are really sensitive to citrus oil. So we default to the hydrogen peroxide version now. But if you want the citrus oil, it will be on our website. You can just, looking at comments, you can look at, you can add that to your order. The biggest thing about this is that what you're seeing here is the VOC meter. The VOCs that's something that's actually pretty easy to detect. The amount of volatile organic compounds, otherwise known as off-gassing, in the air. We actually have this unit close to our front door. We live up in the hills. And actually Jill just asked me a question and wants me to make sure that I reiterate. The hydrogen peroxide version, which is scentless and completely odorless, is available now. In fact, it's what we're defaulting to because more people want something that's completely odorless. The citrus oil, just to reiterate, is also available, and it's harmless to humans and to pets. A lot of people have asked about citrus oil with pets. It's harmless, but if you're all concerned, just stick with the scentless one, the odorless one. So this VOC meter, what it's doing right now is it's trying to detect the level of VOCs in the room. We have this near our front door, and we live up in the hills. So we actually have a lot of traffic because, we don't have a front yard. Our house is right up against this street. Speaking of not harming animals, like a little bunny. But because there are cars going by, cars give off carbon monoxide. They also give off benzene. And something I just found out from Caroline Blazowski, who is one of our experts, consultants, is that when you go to the gas station, everyone except people in New Jersey, and you fill up your tank, the gasoline, the off-gas, the VOCs from gasoline stays on your body even long after you can't smell it, so that when you go to the gas station, you come home, it's still on you. So people who are highly sensitive to chemicals are going to react to that and react to the formaldehyde that's in your floors and react to the new carpet. And, we just get up to here with toxins. This does an incredible job reducing that toxic load of VOCs, as well as viruses, bacteria, and mold. And you guys know mold is a big one for us as well, for our family. This has a night mode. It does have a little bit of a hum. I'm not going to say it's silent. That would be, but when I put this close, you can hear that there's a little bit of a hum. And this light can be annoying to people. I know, I love I love a completely pitch dark room when I sleep. So we have night mode. Right next to the power button, you can press the night mode. And what that does is it turns it down. You can still hear it slightly. And it turns off all the lights, except for, and we'll work on this maybe in future generations, there's a green light here that tells you how much of the fluid in the cartridge, the D-limonene or the hydrogen peroxide fluid is in there. So that always stays on. I apologize. If it really bothers you, you can put a piece of tape over it. In the future, we'll see if we can't address that with night mode as well. But I'm going to take it off night mode. You just hit the same button. And it's still cycling through. When you first turn it on, or when you first change the cartridge, it's going to go red, orange, blue, red, orange, blue, and right now it's measuring the VOC load in the room. Now, even without that VOC meter, it's always generating OH. OH is are the hydromolecules that do all the neutralizing of viruses, bacteria, mold, and VOCs. So this is just telling you what your level. See, right now it finally locked in at orange. When it's at orange, it says, okay, there are some VOCs in here, and I'm doing my work and eradicating the VOCs. And at some point, that point could be 5 minutes from now. It could be, we've seen it take hours when it's first turned on the very first time to turn blue. And when it turns blue, that means the air is stable. So, and Caroline Blazowski had told me one time, because I had misquoted, I thought that it was picking up my carbon dioxide from my breath, from exhaling. And she said, no, it's actually probably picking up the toxins in my hair paste, my hair gel, which is sort of an interesting idea. So they're pretty sensitive. I wanted to talk a little bit about mold. We heard a lot about, we had a science discussion about mold, and mold is complicated. But we have a lot of people coming in and asking questions about mold. Mold is if OH, which is what this creates, a hydromolecule called a hydroxyl, is the immune system for nature. Mold is like the garbage disposal for nature. We do need mold. We'd have to have mold out in nature. If we didn't have mold, then the leaves and the trees that all fall to the forest floor would never decompose. So mold is vital for nature to decompose and create all the nutrients that go back into our soil. It's a great system. Mother Nature, turns out she's super smart. So for something to completely eradicate mold naturally is very difficult. However, in Mother Nature's infinite wisdom, OH keeps it at bay. So OH is always working to keep mold from getting out of control. What does that mean in your house? In your house, it actually starts killing the mold. It just takes a little bit longer because mold is a very complicated molecular structure. And there are different kinds of molds, and different kinds of molds have different resistance. What it does do is it kills mold, but if you have visible mold, you need to get that remediated. It will kill the surface of that and start working its way through, but you still need to get that remediated because there are proteins in that mold that can recolonize. The other thing is get someone professional to get rid of your mold, because if you start cleaning it up, mold is this really, really smart, intelligent creature, and it starts emitting mycotoxins. And mycotoxins then tell other mold in the room or in your house, hey, we're under attack. So start colonizing. So it's a self-preservation emission. So the good thing is that OH is very effective on mycotoxins. Mycotoxins, you steal that hydrogen and you're killing it. So you're going to keep it from talking to other mold, but don't touch the mold. Just do yourself a favor and get a professional to do that. If anything is more than, I think it's a 10 square centimeter of mold, you have to have that remediated by a professional. And the last thing is that mold works on the mold spores that are in the air. OH works on the mold spores that are in the air. A little bit more difficult on the endospores, and I don't know the difference, and I'm going to get that answer. Again, this is complicated stuff, but I wanted to let you know that we're doing a deep dive, and we're going to post the science for those of you who are curious about it and not really bored out of your brain right now as I talk about it. We're going to post that science on our website. We're just cleaning it up right now and making it so that it's digestible.
Well, you have so much detailed information
Yes.
on this product, which is amazing, and you should, since it is you're responsible for it. I just want to make sure that for people who have never heard of WellisAir and who don't know anything about it, this is the latest and greatest technology that we are aware of for helping to purify your air and surfaces in your home. So it's 99.9% effective on viruses, bacteria, mold, any kind of off-gassing, like off-gassing from carpet or from paint, or gasoline, things like that that you have no idea are even in the home. Smoke. We have so many areas that have been horribly affected by wildfires, and the air quality that happens when there is smoke outside affects your indoor air. Mold, pet dander, allergens, things that, and we have so many customers. We'd love to hear from you. If you're someone who is one of the many people who have said, I was always waking up with congestion and stuffy nose or watery eyes. And then I got the WellisAir, and that has improved so much. It's more effective when they hear it from you guys, but we've just been so pleased with the results that we have. If you're someone who struggles with allergies from pets, even if you don't have the pet in your bedroom, it all is circulating through your HVAC system. If you have moldy books up in your attic, all that air is circulating through your whole home. If you've got paint cans in your garage, that air gets recirculated into your home. So I can't think of anyone who wouldn't benefit from cleaning up the air and the surfaces. So when you think about the fact that this is going to kill in the air and on your count, 99.9% effective. It's as effective as
Lysol.
Those. Yeah, I wasn't going to say the brand name, but those disinfectant sprays that you use to clean your surfaces. So thanks for bringing us this product, Bruce. And I'm glad we have that big, nasty, dusty tower out of our home, and replaced by these. These cover 1,000 square feet. So we have 3 stories here in this home. So we have 3 units. We've got one upstairs, we've got one on the middle floor, and one downstairs in Bruce's office. So 1,000 square feet, it will go through doors. So
under doors and around the door jambs.
Yes. So I'm going to get in and try to read some of these comments while
Yes,
you are
absolutely
continuing to chat.
So I apologize. I just jumped right in, assuming so many people have seen these before, so I was trying not to repeat. But those are the basics. Why would you want this? Because it kills 99% of viruses, bacteria, VOCs, which is off-gassing from benzene or formaldehyde and things like that are in your carpets and your walls and your paint, and mold. And that's in the air and on surfaces. Because think about it, molecules are all around. So this is just reaching out and grabbing these molecules and stealing the hydrogen to neutralize them. It doesn't matter if it's in the air or if it's on surfaces. Somebody said, so it completely cleans surfaces? Yes, of those harmful toxins. You still need to dust. Dust is dust, and dust falls from the air and settles, and everyone has different levels of dust depending on what's in their homes and how often their windows are open. A lot of people ask about, is this effective if the windows are open? Ideally, you don't want to put it next to an open window because a lot of those hydroxyls will get blown outside the whole time. But it's okay to have your windows open. I assume there hardly anyone has windows open 24/7. And even if you do, if there's not much breeze, then you're getting the effects of the hydroxyls. When the windows are closed, obviously these hydroxyls expand and fill the room, so they're going to fill it faster and better.
Cher said, I would imagine it's great to take on vacation, especially in hotel room.
Yeah, it's pretty small. It's very light. It's about 3 pounds, if I remember correctly. And in fact, we have one new user who is building a Sprinter van, a camper van. And because this is only 3.5 watts of power that it uses, it's ideal for anything that requires minimum power usage. So a Sprinter van or a motorhome is great. And you can, it's a little big to put in your carry-on, but if you wanted to travel with it, it's certainly going to provide some protection. I know when we first introduced it, many of you know that we went to New York because of the horrible air quality that had occurred there because of the Canadian fires. And we were in our hotel room, and because we brought these and we were distributing them to a handful of people, we turned it on in our room, and there was no smoke smell. That should be like in acting, like red leather, yellow leather, when people are warming up for acting. No smoke smell in our room. Plus, I knew we had the added benefit of, like hotel rooms are fun, but sometimes you don't know what nastiness lies on some of the counters and the bathrooms, and so I knew it was killing all that as well.
Another question for you.
Question away.
Does it shut off when it cleans the room, or does it stay on all the time? And how much a month does it cost to run?
It does stay on all the time. I mean, you can turn it off, but we have ours running 24/7 because toxins are reintroduced into your room or your home constantly. Every time you walk outside and you come back in, there's something on us. I mean, it's just nature. And so it helps keep your home balanced and helps you feel like you're breathing fresh air because, in fact, you are. You're breathing the same air that you would be breathing out in a forest. The price is that there's the cartridge that I showed you that goes into this little door here. I'm not going to turn it off again because I'm hoping that it will turn blue before the show is over, and I don't want to restart the cycle. But that cartridge costs $60, $59.99, and it lasts for 3 months. So it's about $20 a month to run it. Less than $1 a day, and there's actually, if you subscribe and save, you'll get it on auto ship, which I do recommend. You'll get a discount as well, but then you're never without it, so you don't have a lapse in cartridges. We suggest that when you get your cartridges, store them in the refrigerator. They'll last for up to 18 months, and you can extend that life and the efficacy by keeping them in the refrigerator. One thing about when you switch it, and this has come up a couple times, there's an alarm that will go off that it will tell you 90 days is up. And it's set for 90 days of usage because that's how long because when you open it up, you have to put a wick in and then put it in. So now you've exposed that to oxygen, and oxygen will actually start to degrade it. And if you leave it in there for longer than 90 days, then you have degraded solution, which won't work as effectively and ultimately won't work at all. So some people will pull out their cartridge in 90 days and they'll see a little bit, sometimes as much as like 3/8 of an inch of liquid still left. What the manufacturers have done is design the cartridge to have enough liquid under the most torturous conditions. The hottest conditions and the most humid conditions. Those are the toughest areas, still very effective, but those are the most challenging areas for OH to work. And frankly, because of mold with high humidity, that's where you need it the most. So if you're in a very dry area, like Los Angeles is pretty dry, usually at the end of the 3 months, there's a little bit of liquid left. And I know people say, oh, it's frustrating, I still have some left. Yes, but what's left won't be good enough to operate the machine efficiently for much longer. So that's why 90 days is the cutoff once you put that wick in. And there's a little microchip on the back of the cartridge that tells the little alarm to go off in 90 days. So that's the best way to use the cartridge. We obviously I have a bunch of them because I'm always demoing these and giving them out as samples and things like that. But we always make sure that we have one in the fridge as a backup for each unit.
A couple more questions for you.
Yes.
Does the unit get hot when it's running 24/7? Do we need to turn it off to rest?
That's a really good question. No, it doesn't get hot at all. This has been running 24/7 for months now. Other than, I just unplugged it to bring it over here. No, it doesn't get hot at all. There's the only moving part inside is a little fan, and that's the noise that you hear, the little hum. The fan is about the size of the same kind of fan you'd find in a laptop. And inside, what's happening is that liquid is being converted to OH and blowing out. So there's a little intake here. I mean, technically you could say this is a filter, but it's not. It's just a little intake area here. So the air goes in here, goes through the patented generator, and then which converts the liquid into OH, and then blows out the top here. You can feel a little bit of a breeze, and that's all it needs. It literally, I learned a new term, picosecond. That's 1/1,000,000th of a second, and that's how fast it starts moving when it hits a molecule and converts that molecule from whatever it is, like a virus, to H2O. And a question that comes up all the time, when it converts to H2O, does it increase the humidity? No, that's what's amazing. It's such a microscopic amount of water that it's just vapor in the air, and it doesn't change the humidity at all. It may be by 1%.
And Jan would like to know,
Jan,
how do you know when you need to change the cartridge?
there is a little alarm that goes off here. It'll be a red alarm that has a little triangular signal there. And when that goes off, it will actually turn off. This will turn red, it'll turn off, and you just swap it out. And literally you pull the cartridge out, and you take the new one out. There's a wick that comes with it. You put the wick, you unscrew the top, put the wick inside, and then you put the whole unit back in here.
So can you go over pricing on the cartridges?
Yes. The cartridges are $59.99 each, and they last for 3 months. If you sign up for Subscribe and Save, you get 10% off. And we really suggest you sign up for that so that you don't have any days, let alone a week, without your cartridge being in your machine.
Does it come with a warranty?
Yes. 2-year warranty from the day you receive it. If anything goes wrong, we want you to be happy. I stand by these. With anything, there are always ones that have a little issue here and there. So we've had a couple returns, and we replaced them right away. A couple times the sensor wasn't working here and there. And the good news is the unit's still working. So we said, hold on to it. We'll send you a new one, and then once you get the new one, it'll have a self-addressed label, and stick the old one in the box and send it back to us. And if you're really pinched, and this is a little too expensive for you, these are normally $4.99, and we sell them for $3.99. So right off the top, we lop off $100. But if that's too much, we do have some refurbished models that also have a warranty. But those we have at any given time, maybe 3 to 5 of those. So really, if you're needing this and money as a factor is a real challenge for you, obviously take advantage of that.
Is it better to put the unit in the bedroom or the hallway?
I would say the bedroom, because you're closer to it. You know that there's going to be a greater volume of OH coming out closer to it. But we have some friends who have put it in their bedroom, which that's what we do, and some friends who put it in the hallway because they feel like it's getting to the rooms in that area faster. And it's just physics. There are molecules that need to travel across the room. So it is going to be faster. Once it's been on for a while, then it actually expands to the space that it's in. So it will expand to all those rooms. A little easier if the door is open, but as I said, it'll go under the doors, under the door cracks, and still do its job.
With that little filter on the intake,
yes.
Do those get replaced, or do you clean it?
You know what? I actually, every time I change, just as a habit, when I put a new cartridge in, I pull this little foam filter out, and then I just run it under the sink, and then kind of shake it off and put it back in. We will be at no extra cost including these in our next batch. We have a container of these on the water, and as soon as we get those, we're actually going to include a replacement foam. So it's one less thing for you to have to clean, so you don't have to touch it. It's really not that much. It's a lint filter.
Cheryl wants to know if you can set it on the floor, if it's
Yes.
on tile.
Yeah, we actually have all 3 of ours on the floor.
Yeah, we only put it on the counter for the show.
Yeah. So you can put it on the floor, on the counter, and you can also mount it on a wall. Each one comes with a wall bracket. So that wall, if you're handy, you can screw it into, ideally into studs, but it's not that heavy. So you put it into the wall, and then this hangs on it so that when you want to change the cartridge, it comes off. It just clicks on.
Nancy said this is definitely an investment in your health.
I agree. I mean, for a lot of you know our story, but for those of you who don't know our story, we went through a really challenging mold toxicity problem with our daughters and with ourselves. And anyone who's been hit by mold knows that it's very debilitating. It creates brain fog, amongst other things, and it's very hard to think. Mm-hmm. And I think, spirit, God, whatever you believe in, works in mysterious ways. And I think we went through that so that we could understand this product, because there are a lot of, I was trying to get other people to buy this company because I saw how amazing it was, because we're not in the habit of buying companies. But people weren't getting it. They didn't understand it. We sort of had a natural history and a natural education because we were healing our daughters, particularly when it came to mold, but toxic load. Mm-hmm. So
Violet became sensitive to, there are a lot of people who have multiple chemical sensitivities. So any kind of toxin, so household cleaners or toxic beauty products. We'd walk into a classroom or any kind of a business and she'd say, I can't be in here because there was some kind of a scent that, and Alan has had this as well. No, you can't wear any perfume. So some people are just super sensitive, and that's kind of the canary in the coal mine. Those are the ones who can immediately sense that toxin, those toxins in the air. For the rest of us, we just tolerate those toxins. But as Suzanne always says, what is that tipping point? So what is the tipping point when those toxins just get to be too much to bear? Too much in your lungs, too much in your liver, the places that where they're trying to clean our internal selves. So that's where clean air becomes really a part of your healthy home. And it's back to school time too. So if you have kids in the house or if you have grandkids and they're then out at school and coming home and bringing all of those things they collect from their
bacteria,
all
rubbing
of those,
their nose all the time.
So if we can help lower that toxin level by keeping your home clean, we find it's really important for children and the elderly or anyone immune compromised. So it's a whole family product, obviously.
We don't have grandkids yet, but I keep thinking about when we have grandkids and they have a runny nose and they run their nose and then they grab the door handle, that now we have protection. I mean, that's true. I like to pretend like adults have clean hands, but all of our hands are pretty dirty, especially if we've been outside and then we come inside. So at least those things that we're touching, like after we touch them, before you get to wash your hands, they're getting disinfected with WellisAir and the OH that it's emitting. So it's pretty fun. And a lot of people have been responding to us saying, oh my gosh, I can feel that I'm breathing better, which excites me to no end, because the reality is we talk so much about the good food that you want to put in your body. Whenever you can, try and find organic, and even organic, because we've depleted the soil so much, particularly in this country. We're supplementing with supplements to help give our bodies what our nutrients in the dirt and our plants and our plants and vegetables don't have. The thing you do more than anything else is breathe in air. You're constantly breathing it in. And I know that's obvious, but I even had to think about wow, the air you breathe is actually more important than the foods you eat. Maybe not more important, but as important. You can't live without air, it turns out. So why not put the cleanest air possible? Where so many of us live in urban areas, and all of us, even if you're in a rural area, are subject to pesticides in the air and smog that's created from planes and trucks and everything. You know, it's hard, unless you get up into the high Rockies, it's really hard to avoid toxic chemicals that are in the environment. It's just part of the world we live in. So why not add one layer of protection here? When you get into your house, you know where you're raising your kids, or you're by yourself with your partner, or you're sleeping all the time, knowing you're breathing really, really fresh air that's good for you. Do you have another question over there?
Hold on, the show just went out first, just dropped out first.
Oh.
Lisa said
crop dusting. Somebody mentioned crop dusting. Yeah, for sure.
Lisa said, our kitchen will be tinted while our cabinets are being painted. Will this be beneficial? I dread the process because I work very hard to eliminate toxins from our home. There are paints that are less toxic than others, so I would definitely look into that, but you can answer the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I don't know enough about what they call LEED construction, LEED, but I know if you go to the LEED site, I'm going off memory here, so I apologize if I lead you slightly down the wrong way, but if you go to the LEED site, you can start to find paints and materials that are toxic free or minimizing the toxins. But if you're doing any tenting, and if you have to do any kind of chemical usage, absolutely have one of these on. Have one of these on during construction. The nice thing about it is, other than this little filter here, which you want to rinse out, it's like, wipe it off. You know, if it gets dusty on it, it's fine. It's not, the outside of it is not complicated. All the complication is in the inside, doing it for you, creating those hydroxyls, which are hydromolecules. One thing I want to mention, somebody out there, probably a lot of people are going to go off and Google hydroxyl, which absolutely do. You're going to learn about most of the data out there is on negative hydroxyls, OH negative. OH negative has actually been used in industrial applications in units similar to this after a big fire. Like, unfortunately, my hearts go out to everyone in Hawaii, specifically on the island of Maui, with what's going on there. Just tragic. I mean, this is someplace that Caroline and I have been blessed to go to many times as we were growing up, which is a little easier to get to from the West Coast. But a lot of those industrial cleaners, when they try to save a building, and some of which will be saved, they'll use a hydroxyl generator. And you think all hydroxyl generators are made the same. They're not. Negative hydroxyls, OH negative, are used in those commercial applications because they're really great at eliminating smoke and mildew. So if there's water damage, mildew; if there's fire damage, the smoke that's produced there. The problem with them is that they're highly oxidative. So even though OH negative is actually pretty harmless to humans, if you have any metal on, like a wedding ring or something, it will actually start to burn into your skin. It's not good. So humans are not allowed in those buildings. This is the holy grail. This is OH neutral. OH neutral is what is abundant in nature and keeps nature's immune system at peak shape without hurting any animals, or obviously pets, any animals, including humans. We've been living with these all of our lives on a daily basis.
So Shelley said that her road was paved and the Wellis turned red.
Yeah, that does it. Because it's usually asphalt, and asphalt is made of petroleum. And petroleum, that smell? Some people actually like that smell. I'll be honest with you. When I go to a gas station, I really like the smell of gasoline.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love the smell of gasoline.
Oh.
And when I was a kid, and my aunt and uncle used to have a boat, we were on the lake. Oh, it turned blue. So now our air is stable. I'm glad that you guys got to see that happen.
And now it matches your outfit.
Exactly. Well, kind of why I wore blue today.
You look at you. You're so Wellis branded. Except your face is red.
Exactly. It's always going to be red. It doesn't cure that. Some people have asked, does it come in different colors? No, not yet. And I would say we're still a couple years away from that. I have them working on it. But we have to hit a sort of critical mass in the United States before we can entertain other colors. So you'll be the first to know. But in the meantime, white is what we have.
Dana said her husband has asthma, and she wants to know if this could be helpful for that.
Obviously, with asthma, and I grew up with childhood asthma, and my asthma didn't really leave until I was about 20. The easy answer, and I have to be careful here because asthma is obviously a medical condition, but not everyone, but we've had multiple people respond saying, I have asthma, and this has really assisted with my breathing. So there's that, anecdotally. Also, you're lowering the toxic load. Asthma is going to be negatively affected by things in the air. So by lowering that toxic load, it's just sort of logical.
It's another tool that can be helpful. Is there, Gilbert wants to know if there's a discount if you buy more than one.
There is. We have, because people have, homes that are bigger than 1,000 square feet. So we actually have a 2 Wellis bundle and a 3 Wellis bundle. And I know the 3 one, I don't have it memorized and I apologize, but the 3 one is $9.99. So they end up being about $3.33 each.
Barbara wants to know if this would be helpful to put in the garage.
That's a really good question, and people say, I don't hang out in the garage that much. But what you're doing, especially if you have an attached garage, a lot of people don't realize, and we just found this out, and we have an attached garage, that when you pull your car in and you turn the car off, all that exhaust is still now sort of emanating from your car, and benzene is emanating from the car, plus the oil in the engine that's around all the parts, that starts actually matriculating into your house. Any cracks in the doors, under the door, any crack in the floor, if you live over a garage, it's going to come into your house. Caroline Blazowski told us that, especially on the East Coast where basements are common, that 50% of the air on the first floor is air from the basement. So whether it's a garage or a basement, that's where typically you're going to store paint cans, which I now realize you shouldn't, and you're going to have your car in the garage. And if you put one of these in the garage, if you can, that's kind of a luxury, but you are sort of killing the problem before it enters your home.
Debbie.
Great question.
Debbie said on the website it is showing somewhere that the cartridge says it's good for 2 months. But you said to change it every 90 days. She wants you to clarify.
Yeah, if you can, somebody else said that, and we can't find that.
She sent the link.
I'll great. Send it to you. Great. We'll clean that up. It is 3 months. It lasts for 3 months. And there's no doubt about that. It lasts for 3 months. So ostensibly, you'll go through 4 of them a year. And we have some. We took over the company in June, end of May, but these have been made for about almost 4 years now, and we have a bunch of them that are still running around the globe, but also in the U.S. 4 years later, going strong. Because again, the only moving part is a fan. Some people might get a little confused. We have a Pro model. The Pro model is the same exact unit, but it comes with an extra cartridge and a lifetime warranty. So if you're interested in that, there is that option as well.
Susanna's having a hard time finding the citrus cartridge. She's only seeing the new kind on the site.
We have defaulted to, we ran out of the citrus, we've defaulted to the new one, and to be honest with you, we need a name, and the resident name generator, Caroline Summers, is going to create the name of the citrus cartridge for us, and then we'll start selling it.
Yeah, I mean, citrus oil, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I like citrus oil.
Okay.
I mean, that's the name of it.
The thing you just need, and a lot of people think that it's going to make your house smell like citrus, and it really doesn't, because the citrus oil gets atomized, gets burned up in the process. So I can smell it a little. I can
barely smell it. Trisha said, thank you for creating this and the amazing tutorial. I will be purchasing a couple for my home and my office and gifts for my daughters. I'm excited to feel the benefits of cleaner air. I have severe sinus issues.
Oh, well, Trisha, congratulations. And you know, you're just like us. As soon as we took over this company, we gave them to our daughter, one daughter who lives with us, but another daughter who is in her own apartment. It's, you know, all we want in life is peace of mind. And as soon as you become an adult, there are people that you want to protect. As soon as you become a parent, you want to protect your kids. And all of us want to protect our parents. And that's one easy way. And every time I go over to Camilia's house and I see it on, I have to say I feel a little bit of piece of pride about it.
Yeah. Christine said, no more doggy smell on furniture covers or the downstairs rooms where the dog lives and has accidents. So it does help with odors.
Well, in fact, we just had a large order of cartridges come through, and we're like, well, who's this person? Because, you know, we have some customers that came with the company, so we're learning some of the back customers. Well, turns out that this was a assisted living facility, and they have 6 different facilities, and they ordered about 40 cartridges. We said, God, that's fantastic. You know, who can't use it more than someone who's elderly, who's, you know, immunocompromised, and, you know, things just become challenging as we age. And they said, actually, we use them in our laundry rooms. The people who work in the laundry rooms are exposed to the most toxins and the most smells. And they said it's the only thing we've found to constantly take care of the smell that doesn't have another sort of negative effect, like, you know, some sort of spray.
Oh, so in an assisted living place, think about the linens.
Yeah.
And so they were saying it's one of the only things that keeps the odor down.
Exactly.
And makes it tolerable to
Exactly. They're very grateful for that.
Kyle said, this is super high quality product. You really do get what you pay for with air cleaners. I mean, I would say that. However, this is much less expensive than the competitive products out there, especially for the square footage.
For those of you who missed the top of the show, and I would do it again, I just don't want to touch the thing. We pulled out our huge, it's 3 feet tall, black, loud, HEPA air purifier. And I'll reiterate again, HEPA was the gold standard, and it takes dust out of the air. It is good for that, but everything that's on the filter, it's trapping contaminants. It's not killing contaminants. There are some technologies out there that are trying to kill the contaminants on the filter, but you still need to change the filter. And if you have one of those and you are changing the filter, please do yourself a favor. Change it outside if you can, and wear a mask, and ideally even rubber gloves.
Fran would like to know where the product is manufactured and how you got involved with it.
The product is manufactured in Korea, in Seoul, Korea, actually. And I got involved because the U.S. distributor came to me with this product, and for those of you who don't know, I own an advertising agency, and we do commercials. And they asked us to put together a marketing plan for them. And so when I did the deep dive and I learned and got familiar with the product, I said, wow, your product is amazing. And the former owner was more of a business-to-business kind of guy. And he wasn't as familiar with direct-to-consumer, bringing it actually to consumers, which is what my specialty is. And I said, oh, well, this is something that people would want and people would feel really good about having in their house. So he actually just didn't want to take on that. And he said, well, why don't you buy the company? Because he has another company, and I was keeping him busy. And as I mentioned earlier, I said, I don't buy companies. And so I tried to find somebody else to buy the company. We actually had Howie Mandel involved for a while. Talk about the biggest germaphobe in the country. He may be interested at some point. But the bottom line is, I couldn't explain it effectively. I knew I'd have to spend this first year explaining exactly what this does. And I'm doing my best. I know I'm stumbling here and there. But because it's new technology, it takes a little time. But I was able to find some investors to help us purchase the product so we could bring it to you. And really, God, I just want it in every house so that I can go to everyone's houses and breathe fresh air. I want it selfishly.
You know, I think you're so good at explaining all the details in this, but when you look at this unit, it is smaller, it is much more quiet, it does not require that nasty filter change, and it is effective against bacteria, viruses, mold, pet dander, allergens, any kind of off-gassing, VOCs, and it purifies the air and surfaces. And it's $399, which is a lot less than some of the competitive units out there, and each unit covers 1,000 square feet. So this is an investment in helping to purify the air in your home. You know, we've talked a lot about eating healthy organic food and eliminating toxins there. We talk a lot about eliminating the toxins in your beauty products, eliminating the toxins in your household cleaning products. Obviously, pesticides and things that are sprayed on our food, we're encouraging you to invest in organic food if you can. But we don't talk much about the air. So this is a way to help purify the air in your home. We're purifying our water. We're all trying to drink cleaner water. So these are all the places where you can knock back the toxins and help lower your overall toxic load. So thank you for bringing this product so people can breathe more easily. And this has been fun to be with you guys today. We are testing out this new time at 11 a.m. That will be for Mondays and Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We're finding that it helps people on the East Coast have more time to watch the show back in the daytime and have time to take advantage of the offers. So we are going to keep the Friday show at 4 o'clock. We had moved all the shows to the 4 or 5 o'clock hour because Suzanne and Alan always liked to have cocktail hour, but we're not doing cocktail shows every time now, so we are testing this 11 a.m. time for Mondays and Wednesdays. So
we can't have cocktails right now?
I mean, you could, but
I'm not going to get much done the rest of the day.
Yeah, and I know that's, for some of you it's better, and for some of you it's not, so I apologize if the timing is inconvenient, but we are going to test that Monday and Wednesdays at 11 a.m., Fridays staying at 4 p.m. So we're back on Wednesday. We have a big hair show coming. So we'll see you guys then. But Bruce, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Nice to be here.
Bye, guys.